When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers.
Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Are you ready to unapologetically unleash your bold and define your life, money, and business? Define You Radio class is in session with host the Southern Belle of Bold, Valencia Griffin-Wallace, brings you the stories behind the glory. Hear from women and men who decided that life didn't define them. They were going to define themselves. Pen and papers ready. Class is now in session.
Good evening, and welcome to Define You Radio, where we help you define your life, relationships, money, and business. I am your host, Valencia Griffin-Wallace. Today, we are joined by a special guest co-host who I will introduce shortly. Make sure you go to valenciagwallace.com for show updates and more. It's going to be an exciting year for the show, and just in general, it's, the year to unleash. Thank you so much for joining us, especially if this is your first time. This is our kickoff episode of 2017. With it being the kickoff episode, we are discussing unleashing in your life, unleashing the good, the bad, or the ugly. Whatever needs to be unleashed in order for you to move on to the next level. So today we're going to have a few past guests, or like I call them, Define You Radio family. They'll be calling in with their unleashing tips for you to take and to apply to the new year and beyond. Why? Because queens and kings, let me not leave the fellas out, kings and queens move differently, and insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. We aren't going to do that in 2017, so kind of let you guys know we're not going to do that this year. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring on our special co-host, Miss Lorraine Bradley. Lorraine, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yay, awesome. So I know you. I've been knowing you for a while. We've, done a lot of things together, quite a few things, especially this year. So why don't you go ahead and just give a brief introduction. Tell us about who you are and what you do.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Lorraine Bradley. I'm 47 years old. I'm excited about life, and I explode my passion through cooking. I love marrying the flavors and giving people the taste, and I enjoy traveling, and that's just who I am. I have a full-time job, but I know what my passion is and what my purpose is and what am I to do with it is to feed the souls of others with the Southern taste.
I was wondering if you were going to throw that in there about your special Southern hospitality, your special Southern flavors. Goodness, you everything is just about the South. And in case this is you guys' first time, I am live from Louisiana. I am very much into using my seasonings, and I like my food to have seasoning to it. So, Lorraine, you catered Define You Live this year.
Yes.
So, and the menu was spectacular. Let's see, you did some etouffee, and You did fish. You did gumbo. Wait, did you do etouffee?
It
I
was
can't
crawfish
remember.
etouffee. Yes, I did. Over fried fish and rice. It's just a flavoring of seasoning from the South that blends together. It's fulfilling, and everyone enjoys it.
And I know all the guests enjoy it. We did have some speakers that were here from out of state, and they were excited to taste some Southern cooking, and you definitely over delivered. So thank you for that. So let's talk about something else that you are passionate about that some people may not know unless they're friends with you on social media, but you also make some of your own outfits.
Yes, I do. I hadn't sewed in a long time since I was in high school. I took home economics. But what gave me the idea to go ahead and do something for myself was every time you go to an event, you want to have something different. You don't want to look like somebody else. So one of my friends' son was getting married. I couldn't find a dress in the color, and then when I finally found one, it was like $200 and some. So I took it upon myself, bought me 3 yards of material in the color that I needed, came home, cut the dress off another dress, redesigned some things on it. It took me 2 hours. I wore it that evening, and I started back sewing ever since then. And it's just been amazing. I have some new ideas coming in for 2017, so we're going to sit back and we're going to check that out. And in the process of it, the new name is coming about, and it's going to evolve, and it's going to be married with my food because as I cater, which is my deepest passion, and I love it, I'm going to marry my two businesses together, and it's going to be a great explosion.
I love that. I love that. So what are some of the lessons? And really quick, guys, if you are one of the Define You queens, please press 1 on your phone so you could tell us what you're unleashing or give the audience a tip on how to unleash in 2017. So I'm going to go ahead and take a call real quick, and then we'll get into more with our special guest co-host, Lorraine Bradley. So with that being said, 312, area code 312, go ahead.
Oh, hi, Valencia. This is Renee.
Hey, Renee, how are you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
So what have you been up to since you were on the show last year?
I have been up to focusing on 2017. That has been the big thing that I've been ready to do and getting really excited about. And now that it's here, I am moving forward.
Yay. So, and I know it seemed like 2017 actually started mid-December for me. That's what I feel like. It started, like, even though today is the 3rd, it seems like 2017 started right after Define You Live. So, and I look forward to having you on the show this year, which is going to be exciting. So, Renee, what tip would you like to give the audience that's ready, to unleash in 2017? What tip you could give them to get it started?
I would say the biggest thing the biggest thing that I've been telling people is to respect the value of your time and be intentional on how you use it in 2017. Because time is the one thing that you can never, ever, ever get back.
I love that. I'm learning that right there, dealing with time. I think especially when you try to do so much that you end up losing time or wasting time or whatever have you. And I'm definitely learning to get better with my time because I can't create more than 60 minutes in an hour. So I need to learn at least how to use 50 of those minutes to the best of my ability. So, well, thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Thank you so much for that tip. And make sure if you get a chance, guys, if you're on Facebook, go to the Define You Radio main page. We're going to post Renee's tip there and how you guys can connect with her and see what she's all about. She will be joining us this year in 2017. So, Renee, thank you again and talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me to join in really quickly. I appreciate that.
Yay. Talk to you soon, hon.
Okay.
Okay. Lorraine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, back to you. So that was Renee's tip about time. Do you find with two passions that time is something that you are having to learn how to balance or work with or whatever have you? Do you think time is a factor?
Yes, time is one of the most important factors. Really, in my group, I have 3 factors that I focus on all the time, and I just said one of them: communicate, focus, and time. Because I have to communicate with my vendors, I have to focus on what I'm going to do, and then I have to make the time to divide both of my businesses. And then at the end, I still have to take that time and combine them together as one. So with that being said, if you communicate and focus and keep your time set, because like you said, every second you waste is a thought you done lost, and you can't get it back.
Definitely. And time is one of the things you can't get back. So I want to ask you, what are some of the lessons, good, bad, and ugly, you learned in 2016?
Well, I'm going to start with the ugly. Believing in people that sit at the same table with you and you think they have your back, and at the end they don't. You know, the bottom all falls out because it's somebody you can't, pick up the phone and talk to because they see your growth and they don't want you to have that growth because they're not moving as you move. So, and I call that sandbaggers, and sandbags are to stop water. I was a little creek flowing into a river. Now I'm going into the ocean. So if you're not ready to sail into the ocean with me, I consider it a sandbag, and that's time wasted on my part. So I won't allow anybody to do that to me.
I would put that in the ugly category.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned similar lessons in 2016. We definitely have to choose the people that we allow in our life, both personally and professionally. So what would you consider to be like a good lesson?
A good lesson is that being around people like you, which I call you V-Power because you give me strength. I feed off the knowledge that you give me. And when people compliment you, and so far to me in my catering, when I see the smile on the people's face of them eating what I've prepared, and then a dress that I put on and the comments that I get, that just gives me an explosion inside, and it just releases in the atmosphere to say, hey, I've pleased somebody with who I am.
Good lessons. That's good lessons. Definitely connecting with the right people, and knowing you need more of that. That's always a very good lesson. So, what are your strengths?
My strengths, I think sometimes I can be overpowering because I have a type A personality, and I don't like to sugarcoat. I just like to be real with you because growing up, my parents was just real with us. And if I sugarcoat it, then you may take it in your own path. But if I give it to you directly, you'll know this is what it is. Just what you see is what you get.
I definitely, I'm working on things that I consider to be my strengths, and some of them, are good. Some of them are, because we don't want to necessarily look at our strengths as not being good, but sometimes our strengths are so strong they overpower other things. So sometimes the strength, guys, can be, good or bad. Depends on how you work it, you learn to live with it, and so on. And if you're one of my queens that's on the line, please press 1. I'm sorry I'm all tongue-tied today. Press 1 so you could get on the line with me and Miss Lorraine Bradley for our first episode of Define You Radio for 2017. So have you set up goals? I'm sure you have, but why don't you tell us some of your goals for 2017?
Yes, well, my main goal for 2017 is that I have been in contact with different people in different countries because I plan on taking the Southern tastes and flavors to other countries. That's a main goal that I've been striving for, and I've been connecting with different people in different countries to make this happen. And
that's
along with
awesome.
that, climbing the steps is not as easy as people think. So that's where I have to stay focused at. I can't lose my way on that.
And I definitely think that I know that Southern, the South, Louisiana, whatever you want to call it, flavors deserve to be tasted around the world. I know I need to send some Southern stuff to my in-laws in Oklahoma because they are very salt and pepper, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to send you guys some stuff, But we're gonna go ahead. We have another caller with a comment or a question. So one moment, please. Go ahead, 317.
Good evening, Valencia. This is Lexi.
Hey, Lexi, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's funny because I was saying, basically after Define You Live, and today's show is being co-hosted with Lorraine, who provided us with the Southern flavors at Define You Live. But I was saying It felt like 2017 right after Define You Live.
Yes. Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
So it wasn't just...
Absolutely. I mean, you can't attend something like that and, turn over a new leaf.
Right. It felt like the new year kicked in right after I woke up. So you guys, Lexi is also one of Define You Radio's alum family from 2016, and she's actually going to be on the show talking money with us next Tuesday, which is, always, she makes it interesting and fun, guys. So I just want to kind of throw that out there since they get to hear your voice at this moment. So Lexi,
yes.
What tip would you give for people to unleash in 2017?
The tip that I would give for people to unleash in 2017 is to be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Be authentically you in 2017 and beyond. It's interesting because earlier this evening I got a call from someone that I'm coaching, newly coaching, and she was saying that she was frustrated all throughout 2016 because, other people were telling her that she needs to be this, she needs to be that, she needs to, be this professional and be this and that, anything but herself. And she said she was so through with that because it just exhausted her, it frustrated her, and I said, well, good for you, because anytime we're trying to be someone other than who we are, it is totally exhausting and frustrating. And we cannot achieve the success that we want to achieve, the success that God has for us, when we're steady trying to be somebody else because he made it for who we are. So that is my tip. Be authentically you in 2017 and beyond.
I love that. I love that. Because Define You is all about defining you, not somebody else. And we do get caught up with what other people say and what we see and so on and so forth, and think we should go left, right, and all the other ways that's not true to who we are. So that's definitely a great tip to unleash in 2017. And as soon as you get a chance, if you could post that on the Define You Radio Facebook page, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, happy 2017, Lexi. Thank you so much for calling in, and I look forward to next week when we could go more in depth with you and your mission and money.
Absolutely. Happy New Year to you both. And everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, Lorraine, when do you find that is something people get caught up in a lot, where people are telling them you should do this like that person or that like this person?
Yes, I find that a lot when I go to do weddings, and I meet with the bride, and I'm asking her, okay, what would you like? What do you like? This is your day, And say, oh, well, my mom said, and I always say, stop, think about it. I say, look in the mirror. Who are you looking at? You're looking at you. This is your day. Pick what you want. Because a lot of people like to live their special moments through somebody else because they didn't get that moment.
True.
So, like Lexi just said, be you. Do what you want. Because that's why I always try to do, when I prepare food and I'm meeting with the person, I like to meet with that person because I like to bring out their tone in my foods and my designs, my creations that I lay out for them. I want them to see something of them in it because it's about them.
And then what we have to realize as people, I guess this is part of my unleashing tip for 2017, is that we're made to be different. And I love all the differences about me, like you were saying earlier about your clothes and what you wear. I don't ever want to step in a room and I have on something that and someone else has the same thing. I don't even like when people tell me, oh, I have that at home. I will never wear it again. Just because, I like to have my own, even though, unless you have something custom made, it's something else out there like that. But if I can avoid it, I will at all costs. So let's talk a little bit more about defining moments, right? So let's talk about, because that's the show is Define You Radio. So let's talk about what defining moments help inspire you to make your next move. Like what moment you said, this is when the switch clicked off in 2016, so I know 2017 I'm going to do this.
Well, it came about when one day I was at work in my office, and my last supervisor was making some statements that I didn't agree with. And I will tell anybody any day, we all can sit at the round table, but we can agree to disagree. But before we leave the table, let's come to a common medium to where we both are pleased with it and the customer is satisfied. And at that day, in that moment, when I hung up the phone, I said, it's time for me to do my own thing. And I make the rules. And because at the same sense, we all can say things, but we can do it differently and get the same results.
Yeah. There's more than one way to bake a cake.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just to throw that out there. Some people like to make it from scratch. I'm not those people. If it's in a box, I could handle it. You know, I could whip up something in a box real quick. Now, I can make things from scratch, and that might be good for, you know, other people. But for me, if it's in the box, I like to make it easy. That doesn't make me wrong or right. That's just my way.
That's just your way, but
know?
you're getting the same results. You're getting a finished product.
Mhm. I love that. So, how do you stay motivated?
You know, and I'm going to be honest with you, I pray all the time, and I just have the passion. I mean, it's just so deeply embedded in me to cook something. I could be angry, and I'll get up and I'll go cook, and it just gives me a sense of calmness and peace. So with that being, knowing that this is what I want to do, I want to get to the next level. I just keep saying the next level, the next level, the next level, because the number 7 is of completion. The number 8 is a new beginning. The number 9, we just feeling trying to get it all together. But now I'm at a 10 stance, and when I say 10 stance, I count I add the 2 plus the 0 plus the 1 plus the 7, and I get 10. So now that I've stepped on that level, I'm on the platform for a 10. I don't want to go back down. So that pushes me to get to that next step. I just don't like defeat, so I strive so hard to get to the next level.
Mhm. And I know with me, staying motivated has to be part of my routine. Like, I have to set out as part of my morning, putting on my quote unquote armor. I can't talk. You know, I pray, I meditate in the mornings. I have some other things I do in the mornings, and I have to pour on motivation in the morning.
Right.
Because sometimes, and what I find is, especially if you're tired, guys, and this is another unleashing tip in 2017, tired thoughts are normally wrong thoughts. Things you do when you're tired, whether you're mentally or physically tired, normally it's not right, because that's when you're weak. You can't defend yourself to those thoughts that may come at you wrong, or certain attacks or certain things. If you're tired, your defenses are down. Definitely. So I love that. I think everybody should start their morning with prayer or meditation, quiet time. Get to know you again. It's a new day. You're a new person. That's a good tip. Get to know yourself again in the every morning.
In the morning. Yes.
So, how did you learn to cook?
I learned to cook by watching my mom, my aunt, my grandmother. You know, I grew up on a farm, so, you know, I call it was a way of survival. And I just enjoyed doing it. And then throughout the years of school and whatever, then when I came to Baton Rouge, I went and cooked in front of Club Rags on a small barbecue pit. And it grew from there. And, I mean, it just got more exciting to me, to where, okay, this could be something here. Because I actually paid my son way through college cooking outside the club.
Humble beginnings. I think people miss that a lot. They'll see, see you at events and catering certain things, but they don't know the behind the scenes, the back end, the work you put in at first to get where you are and where you're going.
And you're right. Because I remember the days standing outside of Rags on the barbecue pit cooking, and people would be like, You need to go get you a real job, because I wouldn't let them go with the dollar or this or that, And I would never say anything. I was like, okay, if you believe that, that's fine. And all along, I still had a full-time job and in the reserves the whole time. I just was making sacrifices to do so, And it's nothing like being out there cooking from getting there at 5 in the evenings, not leaving till 2 and 3 in the morning, then got to get up and be in formation at 6:30.
And that's what time for us civilians?
Oh, at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. I get confused with military time, and you would think, because my dad was in the military, my son's in the military. I have several friends that are currently or have served. So you would think I would know military time like regular time, but that's a false statement. I will say that. That's a false statement, guys. I have questions.
Yes. Yes.
So how did you do it? I mean, basically, because you would leave, from cooking outside the club at 2 o'clock?
Well, the club didn't close till 2, so I wouldn't get home
right.
till 3:30, sometime 3:45. And I would get home, take a shower. It wasn't no need laying down going to sleep because that wasn't going to work because I was in this formation. But it just was the mindset that I had to say, you know what? A better day is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I won't have to work like this all the time.
Wow.
So, once you plant that seed, you got to keep fertilizing it. And I just consider myself as fertilizing that seed until now I'm reaping the harvest from what I had to go through to where I'm at now.
That's beautiful. Because a lot of people, they want to unleash and they want to, get to the pretty part, right? We all want to see the flowers. We all want the garden. But are you willing to get your hands dirty? Are you willing to put in that sweat work? And you did that, and I mean, you still continuously do it. You move more than anybody I know. You always here, there, and everywhere, and I'm seeing it pay off, and I know it's going to continue. You're going to continuously reap that harvest. So I love that about you, and that there should motivate people that's listening and, just knowing the work that Lorraine put in. So who's your role model? Do you have a role model?
To be honest with you, I really don't. I picked up bits and pieces from different people, like my mom, my aunt, because my mom did hair, my aunt did hair. They had their own little businesses, and, they didn't have to go through all the paperwork and processes that we did. But in a sense, they had their own business because, my mom did people hair at the house,
Right.
And, you just watch them through their struggles or bad times, and you find that peak point to where, okay, they still worked it out. And I knew if I would keep taking those little pebbles that I would pick up from their struggles, their goods, their bads, I can build my platform. And now that I watched all of that, even with Norman, I watched them, the ups and downs of how people, okay, we'll support you this week, next week we won't. But he didn't give up. And he used to always say, when I was out there, rain, sleet, or snow, whether you got one customer or no customer, you keep coming and you'll see what happens. And now I see what happens. I was able to stop from cooking out there, get into my own facility. So I just take those nuggets and just build from them.
If you would have asked me, let's say this was reversed, or I was doing an interview, and if someone would have asked me who is my role model, let's say a year ago, hands down, I would have said Oprah wouldn't have had to breathe or blink before I said Oprah. Of course, Oprah is my role model. I love Oprah, what she's done, so on and so forth. But that has changed. I still love and respect her, not because of who she is, but what she built from being told no. And when Oprah unleashed in the world, she unleashed, So I respect her unleashing. But as far as role model, I don't have one. I find myself connected with more and more people that I respect and love and embrace something about, to where I could say, okay, I respect you for this reason or for that reason. So if someone said, okay, Valencia, who's your role model? I would say anyone I'm connected with. Because if you don't inspire me, I'm not connected with you. So even you're one of my role models. See how that works?
Wow. Yes, ma'am. Wow. Because a lot of people tend to think that famous people, millionaires, have to be their role models.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt that role models start within the family, close-knit people that reared you, that had a part of you growing in life, that planted a seed in you that, you kept it moving with.
Agreed. Your role model is normally, and of course we don't think of people like that we're immediately connected to. We don't think about the people that we could call or inbox on social media or whatever. We don't automatically think of them as role models. But if you're connected with that person, it should be something that they are role modeling to you. Something I say is, if your friend's not helping you grow, they're helping you die. So, okay, $50,000 question.
Oh, wow.
If you received $50,000 today from an anonymous investor, you didn't have to pay it back. They didn't want a piece of the pie. No strings attached. What would you do with it?
First and foremost, what I would do with it, even though it's a donation, I would pay 10% of it. I would give it to God because it all belongs to Him first. But secondly, what I would do is I would prepare an extravagant meal. I would rent tables and everything, and I would go underneath the bridge in Baton Rouge and feed the homeless, hungry people that sits out there. To let them know. Maybe one day they have had an extravagant meal. But I would go down there and I would feed them and give them all new clothes to put on, to let them know it's still a silver lining in that sky, that you still can get better from underneath this bridge.
And if you had some left?
And if I had some left, I would seek to look like, where could I go and provide a place to give them training for the ones that want to get from underneath that bridge. I would teach them the skills to go and work in a restaurant, how to prepare foods, to do something. I would give them some training to go and better themselves in the culinary world without having to pay it back, but just to be grateful to get to the next level.
Well, congratulations for that, because, something that's sown into you and you're sowing it back. And like I say, if you want to see a difference in your harvest, sow different. And if you guys have a question or comment, if you're one of my queens that's on the line, please press 1 on your phone so I'll know that you are here. And I will continue my next question. Lorraine, what is one unleash tip, so to speak, that you would give for 2017?
Wow. The tip that I'd be was, don't let your attitude stop you from getting to your highest altitude.
Mm. And we're going to
Because your
meditate on
attitude
that.
is everything. Yes. Your attitude is everything. And a lot of people tend to take your confidence as attitude when it's not. You know, because when you're confident in yourself, people will always say, ooh, you have an attitude. Because I hear it all the time. At one point in my life, yes, I did have an attitude. But now I know how to distinguish the difference. Because of my attitude now, my altitude is so much higher. Because I'm confident in what I'm doing and how I deliver it to people.
So I want you guys to meditate on that. I have one of my queens on the line, and area code 810. Who's on the line?
Hey, it's me. It's me. This is Precious. How are you ladies doing tonight?
Hey, Queen P. We're doing great.
Hey. Hi. Who was that speaking? I'm sorry I was late. I'm still on my way home. But I wanted to hop on. Hi, Lorraine. You are so on point. You are so on point. I came in on the giving back, and definitely, your attitude determines your altitude. So that is right on time.
Thank you.
I'm working on that to be discussed at a later date. So, Queen P, and for you guys listening in, this is Precious Brown. She was also a Define You live speaker, one of my good friends. She was on Define You Radio 2016, and of course she will get on in 2017. What is your unleashed tip for 2017?
My unleashed tip for 2017 is directly in line with Miss Lorraine. And I would say to challenge yourself above what you think you can do. Not just thinking outside of the box, but really challenge yourself. I'm on my health journey. And I've been sharing that. And today I wanted to quit, but I know where I'm trying to get to. So I have to challenge me to keep going in spite of the aches and the pains and the bumps and the bruises. So I would say to just challenge yourself. So many times we give up so easily and just say, okay, I'll get it next time, or that wasn't for me. But I dare you to challenge yourself to get to that next level and see how much more not only will you appreciate the outcome, but appreciate yourself for moving forward in that challenge.
Yes.
I love that. Make sure you post it on a Define You Radio Facebook page, please. I love that, and I'm definitely working on challenging myself, and I think that that's how you grow. You have to challenge yourself. It's not fun. It's not comfortable, and I know being on a health journey. I know you was at the gym today. I saw the pictures. That's definitely not fun, but it's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. That's how you know you're putting in work.
Absolutely. My legs was jelly. But I just keep thinking of I won't be on blood pressure medication. I'll have this weight off of me. I'll be able to look at pictures when I'm speaking and not be like, oh, my goodness. You know, so it's several reasons why I'm doing it. But I challenge myself just because I know after that first day, which was yesterday, today was on the second day, I'm going to want to quit again tomorrow, but I'm going to push through.
Yes, indeed. We're not even going to talk about you're gonna want to quit every day. You're gonna want to quit in the moment. But I think it helps you or with life and business, because I think a lot of times people kind of get it twisted and think that just because you want to quit that it's okay to quit. What do you think the key to not quitting is?
The key to not quitting for me or for everyone should be, first, always keep your why in front of you. Why are you doing it? We make it easy for ourselves to quit because we just make abstract goals and thoughts and all of that. But if you keep your why in front of you and be honest with yourself, then, you will push through. If it's something that you really want, anything worth having is worth working for.
Yes.
Amen. Well, happy 2017, Queen P, and thank you so much for calling in and sharing your Unleashed tips for our first episode of 2017.
Yay!
And yay! And and we'll definitely be talking soon. Hopefully, you stay on the line and listen to the rest of the show. But we'll be talking soon.
Yes, I am.
Yay!
Okay. I'll talk to you ladies later.
Yes, ma'am. So, Lorraine, have you? I've have gym experiences, and to me, that's it was such a good point because, of course, dealing with the gym make you want to give up. It makes you want to quit. It's crazy dealing with the gym. What do you have a gym experience? Do you have health goals for 2017?
Yes, I really need to lose some weight, and I'm working on it. My thing is, I eat what I want to eat, but I eat in portions, and I've started back power walking because that works for me.
Mhm.
And in the process of it, the advice that I can give to some people in reference to losing weight, dieting, all of that, do what works for you. Because if you constantly try to do what somebody else is doing, that may not work for you. We come in all shapes and sizes, and our bodies are totally different.
Agreed.
Because you may run, I'm going to walk. You go ahead on. I'm going to encourage you to keep running, but I'm going to walk. Because
I've tried
for me,
running.
And I find power walking is more productive for me.
And it's better for your knees, honestly. And I feel like, hats off. And actually, that's one of my quote-unquote bucket list goals is to do some K, maybe a 5K, a 3K, some K I'm going to do this year. So I put it out there. So that holds me accountable. And that would be my Unleashed tip with, your goals or whatever it is you want to do. Put it out there so someone's holding you accountable.
Yes.
Because if I'm supposed to be doing a K sometime this year, you're going to ask me about it. And how is that going to look for me, and I'm all about goals and everything else to say, oh, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that K. I'm going to do a whatever is below a K.
Right.
So this time has went by so fast. We have 10 minutes left on the show. So I want to ask you, just a few more questions. 5 years from now, what would you have achieved?
5 years from now, I will have a 5-star restaurant sitting in Louisiana.
Especially in Southern food?
In Southern style food. In Southern cuisine, as they want to call it. You know, anything from mustard greens, collard greens, clean on up to the sautéed steaks, fishes, shrimp, the whole 9 yards. I want a 5-star restaurant, and it's going to happen.
I love that. I love that. And I look forward to definitely having a meal there, a couple of them. I'll be regularly. I'll have a table at the restaurant.
Yes.
So that's one of my goals, or that's my my promise to you. When you open your restaurant, A, I want a table, and B, I will be there once a week at least.
Then you'll be there speaking at the grand opening.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Definitely. Definitely. With a custom made, designed by Miss Lorraine dress, hopefully. We're going to work on that one too.
Yes, we're going to work on that.
So as we wind down, I kind of want to touch back on something we talked about a minute ago about confidence. And the quote you gave about, confidence in your attitude and your altitude. One of the things, because you were saying that people say that to you a lot, or have said that to you. How do you respond when people say that to you? When they say, Lorraine, seem like you have an attitude, or you're, cocky, or you too confident, or you think too much of yourself. What is your response?
My response to them be, okay, why shouldn't I be confident in myself? And do you really know the definition of attitude? I mean, because you tend to use that word too loosely for me. So it falls back, do you really know the definition of it? And like I say, you say I have an attitude, but does my body actions show you that? Because when you have attitude, you moving your head, you shaking your head, you moving your hands. No, I'm speaking from within, but I'm just letting you know. It is a foundation. I stand on a foundation.
And you are now, you're reserved now, right? Are you retired? Military?
I'm retired.
Okay. So even with that foundation from when you served, they teach you, and from my understanding, it's certain things that they teach you in the military. I mean, you can't survive the military if you're not confident. Who's going to want to be your, I think you call it your battle buddy, because I know when my son came back, when he came back from his 4 months, he was like not a whole new kid, but there was definitely some extra confidence that he got when he was gone. And I know they have to teach you that, or they add to it, or however.
And they do. I mean, it's a structure. And for me, I mean, it comes from strong women and men in my family that reared me, that being around them, seeing what they did and how they did it, everything was done with definition. You just didn't do something to do it. You just didn't say something to say it. It was a meaning behind it and why, because that's like back then when you caught a whipping. You just didn't catch a whipping. In the process of you getting that whipping, you were told why you was getting that whipping and for you not to do it again. So you knew the reasoning why. So therefore, that's why I stand and speak like I do. I can look you directly in the eye. And a lot of people have a problem with that because they say, oh, you cocky, you this, you that. You have an attitude. No, I'm just certain of what I'm saying to you, and I want you to understand me. So if I can look you in your eye and you can look me in my eye, we have an understanding. And what is understood doesn't need to be repeated.
And may I add, I love how calmly you say no. I'm gonna start using that, because my no is more like no. So I'm gonna start, because it kind of softens the no, but it still makes it firm. So I'm gonna just say no. Thank you for giving me that for 2017.
Exactly.
Wow, we have like 5 minutes left. So I want to make sure if that the listening audience knows how to connect with you, just so they can be motivated by you and see what you do. If they need your Southern, I can't even pronounce the word, cuisine. Me and that word's not friends, okay? It's a few words that I'm not friends with. That's one of them. Or if they, want to see some of your fabulous designs, what is the best way that they could connect with you?
They can connect with me via telephone, 225-235-1091, or you can connect with me on Facebook at Lorraine E. Bradley, or you can also go to my website, which is www.diamondmarquee.com, and you also can reach me by email, which is diamond1marquee@yahoo.com. I'm available at all times. You can inbox me. I'm a night person, so I move through the night on social media and whatnot, because my time is set for other things throughout the day. But I'm willing to work with you, see what you want, give you what you ask for. We'll make it work. It's about marrying your business with your customer so your customer is pleased, because at the end of the day, my customers shall be pleased.
Yay. Okay. And I did say I was retiring yay in 2016. I'm working on some other words, but yay still feels right.
Yes.
So before we close the show out, do you have a tip or a quote that you would like to leave the audience with?
Follow your dream. Success don't come from sleeping in the dream. Wake up from the dream and start putting the work in. And once you put the work in, the product is going to be produced.
Yes, love that, love that. Well, guys, we are coming up on 2 minutes left in the show, but I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the quote of the week. The quote of the week comes from Eric Thomas. It says, "You cannot afford to live in potential for the rest of your life. At some point, you have to unleash the potential and make your move. So what are you waiting for?" I added that last part. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us of our first episode of 2017. Pen and papers down. Class is officially over. Wow. Make sure you join us every Tuesday live at 7 p.m. Central. Next week, we're talking money with Miss Lexi Jones. You guys heard her earlier. Feel free to leave your questions and comments on the website at valenciagwallace.com, on Define You Radio's show page on Facebook. You could also join Define You Movement on Facebook. And until next time, remember, only you can define you. Have a great week.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers. Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers. Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.